Hey, there we go. Good morning. Welcome back to my live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz. Today is October 11th, 2018, and we're in the middle of October. No. Ubuntober, right? We're doing all Linux all month long. We're learning how to use .NET with Linux, and today we're going to do a little bit with some Azure cognitive services today. I want to bring on my friend, here we go, Rich Ross. Hey, Rich.
Hey, Jeff, how we doing?
Oh, we're doing, it feels like it was just a week ago. We were in the Poconos working on Tech Bash.
I think it was a week ago.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, all right. That was a great event, regional event, lots of folks there. We broadcasted some of it on Twitch. Thanks so much for your efforts making that a special event for our folks here on Twitch to be able to see that and hang out with us.
Oh, no problem at all. It was a lot of fun for us. First time doing one out at an event kind of that size.
More than taking it on the road, getting outside the office, right? It's like, I got to rebuild a studio.
Exactly. That's kind of when you know what you're doing, right? Or at least have a good idea of it.
Oh, yeah, right. We got to figure it out and actually make something happen on the road. And yeah, I can put this back together. No big deal.
Oh. I can fit these 4 pieces together that kind of go together.
Yeah. Let's take a look real quick in the chat room. There's Shy Sharp. Hey, Lennon BR. Coded Beard Mordzuber is here. Devlead, hello. hello. Gareth, waiting for the ticker to say reticulating spleens. Yeah, you like how I have the ticker have the different things up there? IT Goran is here, and Turrican. I'm sure you are. Yes, very nice. We're going to do some Azure work. We're going to be working in Linux, and we're going to be using a little bit of live share today. Thanks for the Morse code there, Mr. Magoo. I don't know Morse code. Do you, Rich?
No, not since I had those walkie-talkies as a kid. And you had that little card on there that showed you what it was.
Yes, you had to figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to allow that message from the mod. There we go. You think that's hello? I don't know. I would have to Google it with Bing. Some folks going into lurk mode there. No problem. All right. So let's head over to Linux. I want to talk about, where did it go? I don't have my Firefox open over here. Let me get that open. So I am sharing screens right now with Rich. He can see what I'm doing over here. Let me just bring this up real quick and get us back on the right project here. I think that works. And we'll go over to this screen. Look at that. It's like Rich and I are sitting in the middle of Linux.
In the Linux land.
We're in the Linuxes. Can we turn the audio for Rich up? Is that a little bit better? Go ahead, Rich.
Is that any better?
Yeah, I think that's better.
Cool.
All right. So, fantastic. Thanks for the recommendation there, Lennon. A while ago, we were working on this Stream Tools project, and you see it running here in the background in the video, right? Whether it's the SQL ticker up at the top, it's the numbers below me here. These are all web pages. These are bits that are coming through from some code that we wrote and is sitting here on GitHub. Right. And what you and I, Rich, had started working on was how can we do a little bit to use cognitive services to do some interaction. Who is that? AJW 1970. Thank you for that subscription renewal. It's off the side there. I need to fix the size of that, since I moved things around a little bit. I really appreciate the subscription. Somewhere in here like that. And I gotta, you know what, I'm gonna hide the rainbow beard deal for right now. Let's just turn that off.
5,000's the goal on that?
The 5,000's the goal, and we pushed it out to the beginning of December. Good luck getting there, right? We're almost at 4,000.
And when did you start?
When did I start streaming?
No, the Spirit Challenge.
Oh, gosh. That was August, maybe? But it's a total of 5,000, right? It's not just in that time. So I think that fits a little bit better. Now we can see. Thanks for the follow, AJW, and I appreciate the sub. Is it okay to follow along and work on a paid project? Yeah, that's fair. Of course.
You're billing and watching. What's wrong with
Yeah,
that?
that's a great thing. So this project that we were working on, right, we were trying to get some cognitive services in here, trying to either do some moderation or answer some questions or something. And we got to a point later on where we were able to get the chat bot. So, and it's sitting in the chat right now. You can ask questions of it that it'll use the Azure QnAMaker to answer questions from a wiki that I have set up over here. And this is just to make sure everybody's on the same page before we get into this too far. Now, I thought this was really cool when you showed me this, Rich, that I've got a wiki out here that has questions and answers, and we can have QnAMaker build that chat interaction based on this content.
Right.
So, as we get additional things that we want to, frequently ask questions in the chat room, we want to be able to answer, we just update the wiki and everything, including the bot, knows how to answer it.
Exactly. So, and when we talk to customers about this, and that's one of the things I do as my day job, this is one of the big selling points of the QnAMaker. You can basically put it in the hands of the business, and they can manually edit either the page that it's pointed to, or there's actually almost an Excel kind of spreadsheet look that gives the list of questions and answers. So the techie guys can basically build the front end to the bot, talk to the URL where that QnAMaker exists, and then the business can keep those questions updated.
Yeah, right. That's a great separation. Let the people who are the subject matter experts, right, in my case, who know how to answer the questions that people ask in the chat room, let those folks maintain a web page, an Excel spreadsheet, someplace that they know how to manage. They know how to manage those questions and answers. Put that somewhere that they can take care of that. And us, the folks that know how to build the bot, that build the front end, take care of that piece. All right.
Yep.
Now, QnAMaker lives at QnAMaker.ai, right?
Yes. And
this is a service that sits on top of Azure. There we go.
Yeah, it used to live out on its own.
Okay.
And in the last version, when they QA'd it back at build, I'm sorry, not QA, GA'd it.
Yeah, they GA'd, yes.
Brought that into the Azure environment.
Okay.
So if you want to create a new one, that's where you start.
And I like that they've made this really easy for folks to jump in and just start scaffolding out Azure resources, and then the programmers, folks like us, can start wiring it up to whatever. And I'm not logged into this one. I'm logged on a different screen, but hand that stuff over to the other folks.
Exactly.
Okay. Gosh, Janescu is pointing out here, I'm wearing, I didn't even talk about hats yet. I forgot to mention the hats. We're wearing hats. Today I'm wearing my Monsters University hat. You can see it's even nibbled on a little bit here, because I was at the House of Mouse. I was in Orlando this week for Angular Mix. Even though that was at Universal Studios, I don't have a Universal Studios hat. So I figured Monsters University is about as close as I get. Now, what's that you have, Rich?
So this is also university, although I think specifically, yeah, it's college. I should know this. All my money's going there.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so my daughter is going to Lafayette College.
Okay.
Up in Easton, which is about an hour and a half outside of Philadelphia to the north. Not far from where we were in the Poconos last week.
Okay.
So she's going up there, started in August, and going for chemical engineering.
Oh, man. So that was my initial major when I first went to school. And I got about 2.5 years into it, and I was looking at all the calculus that I was writing. I was like, are you kidding? This is insane, the amount of calculus.
She loves math.
Yeah, it was too much for me.
She wanted environmental sciences to begin with.
Okay.
And then decided that she could be more marketable if she was going to put 4 years in if she came out as an engineer.
Okay.
And
sure.
She loves chemistry too, so put all that together. There you go.
Yeah. When I was graduating back in back in '99. It was,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, Y2K, Y2K. I was like, ooh, we should do the whole computer thing.
Yeah.
And the rest is history for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mine's a little older than 1990.
okay.
Yeah. And biology. So
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything like in school.
So I've got to keep this in mind when I send my daughters to school is, okay, great, you're going for topic X, but you're probably not going to do that for a career.
Absolutely.
So,
It's do something to get the degree, get the paper, and then go find something that makes you happy.
yes, absolutely. I would have never guessed I'd be on Twitch 20 years later.
20 years, who know what we'll be on?
Oh man. I'll be on retirement. That's what I'm on.
All right.
Hey, good afternoon, Ancient Coder. Let's see, some other folks stop by. Triple Diamonds, hello, hello. All right, so this is QnAMaker. I already stood up a service with this, and I have my Windows browser already pointing at that service. Let me go to the front of this here, and the QnAMaker user interface is quick to leak information. So I'm going to make sure that I'm going to try to make sure that I'm not leaking subscription IDs and the like. So I'm logged in. You can see up there, Jeffrey T. That's me. And I've got one knowledge base here called Fritzbot Q&A. And there's some sample code we can look at. If I click into this, here's the original source that it loaded data from. So GitHub, C# Fritz, Fritz Livestream, Wiki, frequently asked questions. So I've already got this pointed at that location because you can train this by saying, right, if I click edit, didn't it give me a spreadsheet or a user interface? No, I'm already on edit.
So yeah, go back into the edit.
Oh, if I click add, maybe?
That will give you the new, yep.
All right, so I could key in separate questions here.
Yes.
Look at that.
And it
text
groups
box.
them. You can see you have that editorial for what you did on the page. And the other ones coming from this other source, it doesn't look like you could edit them anymore. You used to be able to in a previous version.
Okay. So I've got these questions here. Now, what I have set up now to kind of unwind a little bit here, let me bring over, I have an Azure function. No, let's go this way. So when the wiki is updated, right, you can have, let's keep an eye on things over here. Good. You can have a webhook fire, and you see I have it failing right now. Yes, I will log in again to GitHub. So the webhook fires when the wiki pages are updated. So when this is updated, it's going to send a message, and I have it sending it to an endpoint that is an Azure function. And you can actually see it here. There it is with a SHA, and here's what it's sending. It's sending this URL with information and all kinds of payload information that I really don't need. But it's there in case I want to go and inspect it. And if I go back to, let me go back to Azure and my functions for that. Where is it? Here. I'm going to bring this over. So here's the function that actually triggers when a wiki update happens. And you're going to see we're going to have an error here because it's not behaving quite right. We're gonna fix this today.
Monitor?
Yeah, let's go take a look at monitor. Good idea.
That's okay.
Fine. Go ahead, do it. Configure application insights, and that'll allow me to get some logging information. App is offline, or the SDK needs updating. Well, it just got configured, right?
I think it's talking about your app.
My app
function.
No.
Yeah.
It's right
Well,
there.
is your function set up to be dynamic or continuous?
Dynamic. Right?
Yeah. So it may be asleep.
Could it have fallen asleep?
It does over. I mean, if you if you do dynamic, you're only paying for the amount of compute time when it runs.
Yeah, it says it's running.
Do a test against it, right? Just a test run.
Where's that? Down in here?
Yep.
Right, so let's open that panel on the side up. And if I click run here, right, you are now connected to the log streaming service. Unauthorized.
So it's the authentication on your app service.
Right. Let's see. Function. Is it function app settings? Okay, so we have keys here. Now, when I run test there, it should just use the key, right?
It should.
I get that sitting there, and I'm going to need to change that. Right, Right, so it's passing in a message and log, and right, this, I don't really care what it passes in as a message, because it's, I'm willing to bet that some of these things are not behaving properly.
Was 401 the output?
401, well, now, look, here, now we're hanging. Right, response from QnAMaker. All right, now it was 200 okay. Ha-ha! For Azure, there's a Chrome extension that hides sub-IDs. Yes, and in fact, I do have it, and I do have it turned on, and it doesn't catch everything.
That's good, but...
Yeah, it's not perfect. So, Reno in Mo. Is that Reno in Missouri? Hello, welcome. Test should use the function key. Yeah, it should, and it looks like it ran properly here. So now, right now, here's the thing. Here's what we're running into and what I think we might be able to solve here. I want to be able to automate the QnAMaker, right? So the first piece here is how do we load stuff into this? Now, you and I were looking at the documentation yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pop this open, and I want the API reference. Because what we can do is we can use, we can use these RESTful endpoints to update and integrate with this. So what we wanted to do was update the knowledge base. What it's doing right now, where I left it, and where I think it's broken, it does a patch right now against, looks like, and it's passing an update. Oh, look at that. I didn't even touch this, Rich, I promise. Because where we were at yesterday, it wasn't doing this. So it updates, and it passes along. Here's the URL, link back to those frequently asked questions. Now, it's doing a patch and uploading that, which I think, right, feels like it's doing this, right? Asynchronous,
yeah, just for the update section.
Yeah. Now, this is the part that bothers me. This is an asynchronous operation. So, right, we get back operation state not started, and then it gives us an operation ID.
So you should be able to, I think with one of the other methods, send that in.
Okay.
And get back the status.
So do we pull on that then? Because the eventual goal is once it's done updating, we have to publish it, right? Publishes all changes. Yeah.
Oh. Well, that publishes for you, if I remember right.
Oh, does it? Does the update publish also?
No, I'm sorry. You're right. So this modifies. The other one does the publish.
Okay. So, right. So, and then I need to go back and figure out why GitHub is getting an error coming out of it. All right, let's go do a quick update on the wiki and see what pops up here.
Okay.
Right, to kind of do the full cycle here.
Yep.
So I'm going to go back over here because I have it in Linux. And I'm trying to stay true to promising to do more Linux. Pull it on a queue, says dev lead. Pull it on a queue.
So pull the wiki updates onto queue, and then have the queue tied to the function.
Help me understand that a little bit more. Put the wiki update into a queue.
Yeah,
but then,
go ahead.
Who cares if it's in a queue at that point? I don't know. Right? I mean, so what if you put it in a queue, then you pulled it out, and you still have to wait asynchronously for it to come back?
You're still doing that through your function.
For the publish.
Yeah.
So put it into the queue, and then the queue triggers a function, pull it off there, and do the check. If it doesn't find it, if it's not done, put it back on the queue after 5 seconds or something, and have that trigger.
Yeah, so if you put it on a queue, you can basically say it's not finished. So
okay.
it'll wait for the next time around.
Let's say put another question here. What are you testing? Rich and Jeff are verifying the Azure pull and update works properly. All right. So now if I save that, and if I go back over to the Azure instance, there it is. So it received the request, and it sent it over to QnAMaker. Okay.
Right. So the next step out of here, if I'm following what DevLead is thinking, is to then go ahead and push that onto the queue. That would then call a function that would do the publish. Now, if it was finished.
This looks like it did it just fine.
Well, your operation state is not started.
What operations? Oh, up here. Right. Yeah. But look at this, right? 14, 29, 25, and then 14 seconds later it did the publish.
So then let's go see if it's updated.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go back to here. So we should see now at the end of this, if I reload, right? Come on. Because it would be amazing if this just worked. Hey, Brave Cobra, good morning, good afternoon. I like what DevLead is saying is when it finishes, just put a message on the queue to do the republish.
Exactly.
Oh, wait a sec. Look at this. I think it's doubled at this point. Because I've got the message, it's there, but what reloads?
All the other messages?
Yeah, it looks like all the other questions are still here. What reloads? What? Yeah.
You don't want to delete.
No, we want to
so in that update method,
yeah,
there were 3 sections, right? There's add, delete, and update.
Where'd those?
When we send the API call.
Yeah. I'm looking. I've got too many browsers.
And too many OSs.
Yeah. Yes. So the update command that we're pushing we're sending in update and we're passing in the URL.
Mm-hmm. And there's a delete one right above it.
Yeah. But delete, it looks like you have to pass IDs or sources.
Delete this doesn't feel right.
No, it doesn't.
If you're saying update, it should, just update the text.
Update the text, match the questions that it does have.
Right. Because nothing else changed.
Right. Right, so there's the last question. gosh, I don't want to have to. I mean, we could clear it and reload it, but that feels clumsy.
No, I agree. I agree. Just look.
So looking over here on. So, okay.
Are you also passing in the ID of the QnA entity?
Of the QnA entity? No. I'm only passing the URL and saying update, right? So my assumption is that I'm saying update the content from this URL because it knows what came from that URL. Right? It knows original source here. If I collapse that up.
That is all you have is that one source.
All I have is that one source, but it duplicated. Yeah. Right. So the reverse question would be, when I do the update, can I update and say delete that source and then re-add it? Ugh. Because I really wouldn't want to iterate through all the questions and do a delete and re-add.
No, it's almost like you need some kind of a flag in there that this is not an append.
Right.
A replace.
Yeah, but that's what I thought update would do, you know?
Totally.
List of metadata to be added or updated, URLs, description, maximum in the URLs is 10, and those are strings. Yeah. Okay, hang on. Delete, and then sources, custom editorial. So I wonder if we can say delete and pass in... Right, pass in that source name, that URL.
Right.
And then be able to have it fire again. In which case we're doing a delete and then an add. Shouldn't be too bad. Especially if we can just specify the sources and give it that URL.
Yeah.
Golden rule, never assume. I agree, Brave Cobra. I completely agree. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like this API is a little bit under-documented. What is replace? Maybe replace will get us what we... Replace the knowledge base contents. So looking here, it looks like... Right, it looks like we're just passing in... Well, wait, source. What do we have? So properties, QnA list. It's an array, a list of QnA DTOs to be added to the knowledge base. No. Source from which the QnA was indexed. No. That's it. And I'd rather not write my own parser to parse out the questions and answers and load. But that would be, I feel like that's a big hammer to bring down on it. Mm-hmm. Swatting a fly with a sledgehammer.
Even though it looks like there are IDs in there for each entry.
Yeah, right?
You don't want to keep those.
All right. So maybe it's not... Okay, it's not going to be any of the gets. Delete... I don't want to delete and rebuild it. Even though that feels like... Well, no, because I need the knowledge base ID, don't I?
You don't want to get rid of the whole knowledge base.
Right. Because eventually I want to be able to ask questions. And when I ask the questions over here in our code... Right, I'm passing in the knowledge base ID, so that's important that I maintain it.
Right. I think at the most we'd have to do is to do an update knowledge base where we fill out the delete section.
And give it the URL that we're deleting.
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot. I mean, right? We can always remove it and repost it.
Exactly.
We've shown that we can load the data. Okay, so the format for that, to make sure that I understand this, is next to update we'll have delete, curly braces, sources, and then maybe we just put the URL in there.
Well, if you go, that's your source.
Yeah.
Sorry, to the tab 1.
That's the source.
Yep.
Is the URL.
Yeah, they didn't change the name on it. Yep, you got it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, if they had changed the name so that it was it was like the title of the GitHub page.
Yeah.
Convenient.
Not helpful.
But not what I wanted. All right, so if I add a delete in here, right? And delete needed, where's the syntax? Sources inside of that. Okay. So it's a pair of curly braces because of escaping this. Sources. And then if we give it, it's an array, isn't it? It is. Crumbs. All right, so we got to do square bracket, backslash, and then if I give it I should be able to just copy that, right? Do that. So that's, no, wait, hang on. That's still an update. Ooh. All right. If I paste that, and then it's the end of those curly braces, comma. I think that's right.
Yeah. Because then comma would get you an update.
Yeah, yeah. Then we're at the same level as it. You're right. Okay. Hold on to your butts. Save and run. All right. Doing something. Go, 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 go. Patch and switch. No. That's Joey and Rick, and you'll see them on Friday on the Visual Studio channel. The patch. So, Brave Cobra, what we saw was that the patch only appended. All right. It says okay, but I don't have any log information, which feels weird. Right? If I go to errors and warnings, there's nothing there, but I go back to the log. Nothing. All right. Let's try going back to the QnAMaker screen, which was here. There. If I refresh, do we have stuff? I'm messing with you. Okay, so we've only got one page. One set.
One change, and there's our question.
Okay. Well, I'm feeling good about this, Rich. All right, so let's try faking it again and put in another. I do have too many windows open here. I'm going to take this one. Let's dock this with here. I'll put Azure over there. The top 10 problems for software developers: managing all their damn windows. All right. So, and then we're going to write some code here to actually do the queries against the appropriate endpoint. So let's update this one more time and see if this works. So what are you testing right now? Verifying the pull, the delete, and patch works properly. All right. So if I save that, and now we'll go back over to, oh no, I need to be here. So let's scroll down. Now, it's not even giving me a log here in the logs that something ran, which feels like I somehow got disconnected from the log service, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should see that pop over.
Yeah, right? Let's refresh QnAMaker. Come on. So 2 pages. What are you testing right now? Delete and patch works properly. Fantastic. Okay. So
Nice.
feels weird, but it does it. And is this right? What's happening with my webhook? Yeah, I'm still getting a red issue there.
Are you getting?
It's giving me a service timeout error. Well, I'm not actually parsing anything from the payload, so I feel like I should drop the payload so it's just a notification, right?
I would think that makes sense.
So how do I drop the payload? Wiki active. Right, I don't need all that goo. Or am I just kind of forced to take that?
Well, the payload's what you're sending, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, that's recent deliveries.
Yeah. I don't. So I'm only sending on the wiki update event. Is there a way to change that so that I don't see anything. I mean,
nothing's popping out.
Yeah. Right. So that's the payload that it's sending. You know what? I don't think I need to get concerned. Hold on. Didn't someone mention that editing function should not be done in Web UI but in Visual Studio? Yes.
Yeah, just not in this session.
This is why you should queue it and then act on it in a separate function. That's not a bad idea, DevLead. GitHub webhooks need to be accepted quickly. That's not a bad idea.
Because then you get the exception back from the queue, which will happen relatively fast.
Well, you get the notice from the queue.
Yeah.
To GitHub. Instead of
so
waiting for it to completely process. Okay, I can buy that. You know what? Let's take that as a second step to come back to here. We've got it working, right? So now here's the problem. Here's where I know you can help me because I'm thumbs with the QnAMaker, and I know you've done some work with this. So if I go back into Linux, and yeah, I'm in Linux.
Oh my!
That's right. And we're set up and we're connected using live share here. So you can actually see Rich navigate around, right, when he's in and connected here. I have one person connected.
And that's me.
And if I click this, there you go. You can see where Rich is. He's right there. There's his cursor. So I know I show this a bit, but I want to make sure folks understand this is a free tool anybody can use, whether you're using Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio 2017. You don't have to use it on just .NET. It'll work on all the programming languages supported in Visual Studio Code. And it's completely free, and it doesn't use Microsoft servers unless there's some sort of a communication lag or significant distance between you and your partners that are working together. So Rich and I are going to use this now to collaborate and clean up our code here a little bit so that the bot will start querying against the 4.0, the production endpoint for QnAMaker, and hopefully start bringing back some of those cool new data points.
Definitely. So,
all right. So everything is in this one command. We've isolated, and in doing some work here on stream, we've really consolidated down so that all the work to interact with the Azure Q&A service is in this one class. So, and the idea is when somebody asks a question in the chat room and it ends with a question mark, we'll bounce the question off of QnAMaker, and if they have a matching response, I forget what the percentage is, we'll post that message into the chat room.
Yep, that sounds good. And you're using it the right way by getting the percentage back, right?
Yeah.
Making some intelligence around the intelligence.
Oh my gosh, right? If I just output every message, right?
Well, because it will return you something.
And sometimes, right, you'll see it writes into the chat room sometimes. I'm not certain, but perhaps this will help.
Right.
So, and it's not always right. So, hey, Ian Lowe, thanks so much for the follow. Now, I know I'm going against the wrong endpoint right now, right? If I scroll up to the top, the endpoint that I'm hitting is West US API Cognitive QnAMaker 1.0. We have to change that, don't we?
Yeah. So in your Azure subscription, you see the QnAMaker?
Let's go over there.
Although we could see it from here. In your settings page.
In the settings page. Let me pull this off screen.
Yeah, just in case.
To make sure we don't leak any keys. So I'm going to go over to settings. And okay. So there is a thing here, deployment details. Oh, thanks for the follow, Lazarette. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Now, I don't know if it's actually exported. You can share your Q&A service from the Azure portal, it says. See here. And there's an endpoint key. I'm just going to... So, there is, when I click into this, settings, service name, manage knowledge base. Here's the URL, and I can tell it to refresh content right here, but we're doing it automatically.
Right.
And if I scroll down, there's export knowledge base, import knowledge base, but here there's this... You can share your Q&A service from the Azure portal. Not sure why it says you were disconnected.
Yeah, my machine rebooted. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm following along with you. But I think if you do that, it's going to take you into the Azure bot service.
Collaborate on your knowledge base. Access control. Add
okay.
Owner, contributor. The person you want to share with. No, I don't. That's no.
Yeah. So that's if you're working on this with somebody else, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay. And I need to give them access to this.
Yeah.
Let me pull this over here. Scrolling down, there's deployment details, and I'm not showing that because there's an endpoint key that is appearing as part of that, and I don't want to show that.
There is I believe it's in the Publishing tab. Trying to get into a page of myself to follow along and make sure.
Yeah, there we go.
So the publishing should give you a post URL.
So publishing your knowledge base moves your Q&As from the test index to the production index. Once you publish, the knowledge base endpoint becomes available for the knowledge base will be published to the FritzBot QnAMaker service.
Right.
Now, so if I go back...
remember when we did the the API?
Yes.
The API only did the settings. It did not do the publish.
So I thought that was the now I need to have... I so wish you could have two Azure consoles open.
I totally agree.
So, all right, so here's the reloader, right? If we look at this again, reload, right? And it's calling publish here at the end.
Oh, you did call at the end.
Right, it's doing this post.
Okay.
And I thought, right, so post will do, and it's the only
post.
Now there's a second post to create, but we're posting into a knowledge base ID with a request header that has the subscription key, builder URI. Yeah, all right, so we are already adding
already in there.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we've got it. This is why you have Chrome, Edge, and Firefox, so you can have three. I like where you're thinking there, dev lead. Lycan 1534, is that a forced window update? That happened to me at Tech Bash. So here's the thing, Rich. Before I gave my keynote on Wednesday, I gave this intro session talking about teamwork and how wonderful it is to work on open source projects and to live code on stream with all your friends. How you doing? I woke up at 5 in the morning and my Surface Book was sitting there on the desk and it lit up and all of a sudden it started doing things. It was installing Windows. 3 hours before I was set to go on stage. I'm like, who told you to do that?
That's a wake-up call.
Oh, man. You aren't kidding. Fortunately, all I was doing was showing the PowerPoint, but the next day when I was on stage and I was trying to use IIS and Visual Studio 2017, bunch of configuration was messed up. And
and we saw how greatly you handled that.
I have never done a live swap out of machines like that before. But that was insane.
Next time somebody asks, why do you carry two machines? You have a very recent, relevant example.
I've got video of it.
That too.
So, yeah, there we go. Join the collaboration. Fantastic. You're back. The wife always complains to me, why are you carrying two machines? And I carry a third. I carry the Mac with me as well for exactly that reason. You know?
That may be pushing it a little too much.
No. You need the Mac because you're giving Apple demos.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Okay, so it's publishing. It's said to Fritzbot QnAMaker service. So if I did this right, see, there's the blurring out right there, right? You can see the subscription ID. Fritzbot QnA, FTP host name. So
this is just your bot.
Well, it's just an app service, right? That's hosting that.
Yeah, I mean that's under the covers. That's what a bot is, right? It's an API
living
and
on
it
an
may
app
have a
service.
web front end on top of it.
Okay, so then you can launch Chrome with user data dir, so you have multiple instances of it. Ooh, really? I don't use Chrome. I use Firefox. But absolutely, I'm going to take down that note. That is a good one. I like that tip. Chrome user data dir, so you can have multiple instances. I like it. Firefox has containers. It does not have containers, Rambling Geek. I can do new private window. No. Tracking protection, me. I'm American, turn that off. Let them track me. Firefox can have isolated tabs also. Right, so I'll do private window so I can do that. So.
I do use the different personas in Google.
Multi-account containers. Oh, it's an add-on. Oh, and it's a British add-on too. All right, I'm gonna have to look at that later. Firefox multi-user containers. That sounds very useful because when I log on to the Visual Studio channel, I don't want that mixed up with my C# Fritz channel.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. So I have the URL for this. What do I then use for actually connecting in and using it?
Yeah. So that's just the URL where your bot lives.
Right.
Not for where you're going to have your bot connect to.
Oh, okay. Okay. So where do I...
That's...
do I still use this one? West US API Cognitive?
It's close. It is West. Because I was playing around with... I should have it here. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Ubuntu Postman. So I was also doing some testing.
And... let me see if I click test there. What's it do? What's it do for us? Type your message. Oh, that's not what I want. So I published it. Yeah, now how do I query it? Oh, well, that's the... Yeah. Oh, we're almost there. We're almost there.
Yeah, you're seeing it off screen.
West US API Microsoft QnAMaker 4.0. So you're saying we need to change this? Hey, Space Shot, that's our friend Chris Gomez. Thank you for the sub. 9 months in a row. 9?
Oh, my.
Thank you so much. We'll make a donation to Girl Develop It for that. Thank you. Right, so I changed that to 4, and if I look at this...
Oh, you have deployment details, right?
Deployment? I have deployment. Yes, there's a deployment details thing here. So
under settings. So that's the rest of it.
Okay. So I'm going to it says... Yeah, yeah, okay.
So QnAMaker URI base, and then what it says in the deployment details: post, knowledge bases, your ID,
So it looks like,
generate answer.
right, it looks like we need to pass the host as a header here. Do I have that right?
No. Oh, no, I've not done that.
Okay.
I've,
So I don't want to show. Well, that's the knowledge base ID, and then there's the authorization endpoint. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy this. Open Notepad. Paste this in, but I'm going to remove the endpoint key.
Yeah.
So that I'm not showing that. Okay. So here's what I'm seeing under deployment details. So post knowledge, we're going to post into QnAMaker base, which is the West US API, Cognitive, Microsoft Com, QnAMaker 4.0, blah 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 blah. All right. And then it looks like we need to pass the name of the host, authorization, endpoint key, and then there was our endpoint key. Content type, application JSON, and then the payload is in JSON, our question.
Right, the text of the question.
Yeah. Okay. So if I have to add the host header here, that seems easy, right?
Yep.
All right. Where is it? Add the
Client headers.
It looks like we're not even adding these at this point.
Well, we should be, because it's going to need those keys in order to be able to get in securely.
No, it's authorization. The content type, yes, but the OCP subscription key, it's not taking. It is taking. I bet you it's the same value though. It's taking authorization endpoint key.
They've just changed the name of it. Yeah, I know you needed a key.
All right, so let's do this. I'm going to come over here and let's do client headers add, and it was host.
Yep.
All right, and then I'm going to put in. It is HTTPS fritzbot Q&A, and we'll move this out into a configuration key / QnAMaker. Just get it working first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that goes authorization, and then it's not just the Azure key, but it's going to be endpoint key. And I'm going to check my user secrets over here. I'm going to let's open a new one of these. No. I'm going to go down and look at my user secrets, make sure that that's the same key. While Rich is keying that in. Is it endpoint : or is it just endpoint key? Yeah.
Key, no colon.
Fantastic.
Space. Yeah.
All right.
This is why we love live share.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And you're doing this, so complete the story. You're doing it in a Visual Studio Code on Ubuntu, and I am using Windows and Visual Studio Enterprise.
Yes. So cool. Now I'm going to go to our back to this screen while I open the user secrets, just to make sure it doesn't open on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
No, it didn't. All right, I can go back to this. So the subscription key, the key that it's taking in, it's not receiving the same key that's over here. That's okay, because I'm actually still configured with the older Azure key.
Right, I'm sure it's a new version, new key.
Yeah. So what I should be able to do is to change that out in my user secrets so that it is the appropriate new. It's a GUID, and I think is that the only place the Azure key is used? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, and we don't use this retrain at all. This is something we were tinkering with and we don't actually need. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to that 2-up view so that people don't see the screen while I go and change out that secret.
So just so you know, we had to go into the settings of the actual bot to find all that information.
Mm-hmm.
Out on the main page where it lists your My Knowledge bases,
Yes.
there is actually a view code that gives you that same bit of information.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, let's go back to this before I go and do any of that. Right? I need to close Teams. Stop saying things.
You are not online.
Close Teams. I currently have no knowledge bases. Yes, I do.
Interesting.
Where'd they go? I just had it. Oh, now I gotta log in again. Are you kidding? Loading my knowledge base information. There it is. So if I click sample code... Now
Don't click it.
Don't click it?
Well, not on the screen.
Oh, it's going to show the keys.
codes.
All right, let's do this. I'm going to move it off here. Oh, okay, there it is. Yeah, and this is the same block of information I showed in Notepad. It's got that
Absolutely.
authorization with the endpoint key there. Okay. So I'm going to copy out that endpoint key, right? So when I click that view code, it just showed me a little pop-up modal dialog for how to interact with this. So I'm going to move this off screen. And Ubuntober for real VS Live Share. What goodness. Yes, I could use Control F. No. Even if they had their own dedicated team, do you think they would actually come up with something that would be even 49% accepted? Who? What are you talking about, Skyhoshi? I'm not sure.
Mm-mm.
All right, so I should be able to do, let me go back into Fritz Stream Tools. Right now, I can use the .NET User Secrets tool to actually replace a secret in my secret store. So what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to key everything in here, but I'm going to show you what the command looks like. Right, I'm going to do .NET User Secrets, and I would say set. Now this is hiding under Azure Services, and it's going to be colon. I think it's colon.
Because it's a child of that, right?
Yeah.
Yep, colon.
QnA subscription key is what I called it, and then I'll pass in my value is where I place that. Now the other thing that's in here I need to double check, we're also passing the knowledge base ID through. And that knowledge base ID is 34D something, which is currently, it's a different knowledge base ID sitting in there as well. So, you know what, let me do that one. Right, let me show that one here in the terminal. Because that one I think we're okay to show. Oh, who's the follow? Alex Fillin, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. QnA knowledge base ID. And then I'm going to give it a value. And I'm going to grab that value from... Oh, too many of these. Over here somewhere. And it's this 3-4, it's a GUID, and it's okay that folks see that. So I can just paste that in. Ta-da. And now it sets that value for me, QnA knowledge base ID. Fantastic.
Now, can you get that value from the command line as well?
I can list, and it should show it to me. Right? So if I do .NET user secrets list, now I'm going to go back. I'm going to hide what we're doing here so Rich can see it, everything. And so that our friends watching don't see it. So I'm going to say user secrets list. There it is. My knowledge base ID is right there. So I'm going to update the subscription key the same way. I might as well do that with Rich while I'm looking at this. Subscription key. I'll delete all that goo. Grab it back out of that code bit. Paste it in. And now that looks right. All right. Wait a sec. A24. And then the subscription key was... And the knowledge base ID. Yeah, okay. It was this 249, now it's A24. Okay, good. I'm going to clear that, and we'll turn back on the code so our friends can see. Hello. All right. I think... naming conventions, having a consensus. I can't spell nearly every to get a naming convention that someone won't poo-poo on. You know what? You're right, Sky Hoshi. The changing of naming conventions for features between test and release, that's a pain in the neck when they change like that. And I agree. You should come up with a standard there before we actually release it. All right, so we have question, authorization, content type, host. I think that's all we needed to add now. So we should be able to get a response string coming out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Now, how can I test this without starting the whole thing back up?
Postman?
So Postman will allow us to post to that endpoint and post in that information.
Yeah.
Right? Effectively, we're going to be posting the same thing. It doesn't actually test this code.
No, that's true.
So, well, this is just a public class, right? I mean, we could put together just a little console app that we pass a question into and it fires. Well, then I need to load the secrets as well.
Yeah.
And the secrets are coupled right now to the web app. So if I ran the web app, it would run and start up the the bot in the background and attach, and I would end up with 2 bots in the chat room right now. So I feel like I need to stop my production running bot. And then if I ran this, we should see it connect and hang out there. What do you think? Ooh, hang on. The folks in the chat room are saying in the URL of the endpoint, we put websites.net instead of Azure websites.net. Thank you.
Nice catch.
Good catch. Pair programmers, man. That's why they're here. Absolutely. QnAMaker. Okay, good. So, what do you think? Should I just start this in the background then? Start it in the foreground here in Linux.
Yeah.
And see what it does. All right, I'm going to kill then
Sure.
my other one. Cool. So if I do debug here, right, because Visual Studio Code will debug. Here's the really cool part, friends. Rich will see the same thing on his side. All right.
So when you hit that breakpoint.
Yeah. So let's put a breakpoint here on the response string and here on the catch. See what happens. If you want to share, use the share server feature. Yes, please. Do it. It should be. Where's the configuration for this?
It looked like it was saying reload.
I know. No, that's that.
I got red bubbles.
Cool.
They did go to a little exclamation point for a second.
All right. So, telemetry, okay. If I look at output, no, I want the debug console. So now if we ask a question here in the chat room, right? Where is the ASP.NET Core Workshop? There we go. Upload task async. All right. Looking good so far. right? So I hit F11 so it steps in. Go. Let's see what happens. System net web exception. No. All right, it looks like it failed. An exception occurred during a web client request. Specified value is not a valid host header string. You make me sad. Azure Q&A command line 48. What did we do?
That's where we set the header, right?
No, that's... Oh, wait. Okay, so that's higher up in the stack. So this isn't a very good stack here. Right, so that's where it's doing the query. Specified value is not a valid host header string. Parameter name value. That's so handy. Line 130 in the bot on chat message. Severity error. Okay. So FWEF, is that FWEF 64? What we're doing is we're wiring up to Azure Cognitive Services to a tool called QnAMaker. Actually a bot that's hanging out there in the chat room that will answer questions based on an FAQ that I've already built that we frequently get in the chat room and spit out information appropriately to reply with appropriate information to the folks that are asking those questions. Why do I still have this in yellow? When is ASP.NET Core Workshop? And it came back now with, what are you working on? Now it's answering that question. And yeah, we're getting errors coming off of that.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Unfortunately, it looks like Visual Studio Code isn't formatting them appropriately here. All right. Let's stop it here. Oh, are you getting a better formatted output, Rich?
No, I'm not hitting that breakpoint at all.
Really? And yes, I do have a new sound effect. I don't think Rich is able to hear it, though. Unless I
am.
Oh, you can hear my sound effects?
Mm-hmm.
Like this one?
Oh, my.
Oh, yes.
All right. I didn't think I was passing that through to you. So then you'll hear this one.
Wow. Wow.
I'm trying to think who that is.
It's Owen Wilson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when we get it working.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's, what is Fritz's new sound effect? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So when I let that run through, though, it's, right, there's all that application insight telemetry. Mr. Regs just joined. Hey, Mr. Regs. More telemetry. I should shut that off while we're debugging like this. A little crazy. I wish I could see exactly what that error is that it's upset about. Right, so now it's going to post, what's this one? How many hats does Jeff have? Yeah, right, there's a good question, Syra Lash. And it's not going to respond, it errors out, yeah. System net web exception.
Can we throw another catch?
I think that's a great idea. Do you want to code that one up? So I'll stop the debugger. There we go. So you can see Rich is keying in there.
My wonderful typing skills.
Right, we just want to catch any old exception.
Yep.
And then we should be able to use the logger and log that information. So, yeah. So on Rich's side, he's getting a full IntelliSense experience. He's getting all the information about the objects that are available on my side. I don't get to see when the IntelliSense thing pops up for him. You've got an extra underscore in logger there.
Gotcha.
And I think we want to log more than a warning. I think we want to log an error. Right,
yeah, definitely. Do you want to go ahead and
yeah,
swap that out?
I'll change that to log error. And if we did something like error while communicating with QnA service, and because I use the dollar, I can actually put the exception in here. So now it won't fail.
Yep.
And I should probably just return at that point as well, so it continues working.
Awesome.
Let's make sure that we can see it. I'm going to put a couple of greater thans there so it's visible. Let's try this one more time. And I'm going to put a breakpoint on that error. I don't care about the timeout. I care about that error, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So what's with the weird indentation? So something that we've noticed, Fwef, I guess that's it, is that folks who have different indentation settings, it doesn't quite handle it properly. Oh no, you got disconnected.
Yep.
Bummer.
Which was why I was trying to gracefully ask you to continue coding while I reconnected.
All right, so it looks like we're running. Okay. What does Jeff do? Let's just ask any old question there and get it to fire here. All right, so there is, we're hanging, and we've got, there's the question. Okay. So I'm going to F11 into it. Yeah. All right. Let's see what it comes out with. Exception thrown, exception thrown. Hey, Rich is back. All right, so here's our exception coming out. Right, so there it is, right here in the locals. Beer Chug, thanks so much for the follow. Interesting, it's not... There we go. So inner exception, system argument exception, yeah. Message, an exception occurred during a web client request. That's nice. What was it? Exception, inner exception is null. Message, the specific value is not a valid host header string. Parameter name, value. Okay, so param name is the word value. Well, yeah, that doesn't make sense. So what were our host headers that we were trying to send through? If I mouse over client, can we add a watch for client.headers and actually take a look at those? Why does Rich keep disconnecting? I don't know. Rune Max, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Uh-oh. Come on, expand. Authorization endpoint key. And it showed my key. Darn it! Actually, so look at this. It looks like there's only one header that went through.
What would that be? And that one.
And it was just the authorization header. Host can't have protocol URI. Why do bugs always come in swarms? Good question. What if we drop the host header? Go back to the way it was, the way we had it.
Sounds fair.
Even though it's in that sample code they gave us. I kind of agree with what what DevLead is saying. That doesn't make sense. Even though that's the format they gave us. Let's try this again. Get ready to ask that question again, Brave Cobra. All right. Bundling, doing the things. Okay. Debug console. Yeah. Okay, client header's not available. All right. What's with the hats? Just to ask a question. There we go. Why do bugs always come in swarms? Fantastic. So the post body is right there. Why do bugs always come in swarms? Now we've got 2 headers coming in. There they are, those 2. All right. Does it go? Right now it's got another question. What's with the hats? Okay, that's fine. So I actually hit a timeout. Why do bugs always come in swarms? That's fine. I'm going to pull off that breakpoint.
Yeah. You have one set for the response or the catch.
Right. Okay, so now authorization endpoint key. And it's giving me the key again. Thanks! Okay. We're going to have to reset that, but hey. So here's the exception. Web exception. Yeah. I get it. Tell me more. That's a better call stack than what we were seeing over here. Data system collection. The remote 404 not found. Interesting.
Didn't find the URL.
That's weird. Right? Right, that knowledge base ID it should have, right? Oh, that's the wrong knowledge base ID. Even though it was using the user's secrets, it's pulling back the old knowledge base ID instead of the new one.
Where's the old one stored?
It was in user secrets. Too many.
And you erased it.
Right. All right, let's stop
So
that.
Can you do a watch? Or I'm just curious. Well, you just moused over it and it showed the knowledge base ID. Never mind.
Yeah. So I'm all right. So I'm thinking, go back to where is it? App settings. Isn't there an app settings in this? It's not in the chatbot. It's in this one. I just want to make sure. No, go away. Right, scroll down, follower goal, all that stuff. Azure services. So it's not there. So it should be pulling from my user secrets and the value that I set. Let me go back to this. QnAMaker. Okay, so knowledge base ID is. Where is that coming from? Because it feels like I've missed something here, you know? Configuration.
Is there another configuration Fritzbot Q&A knowledge base ID?
It's in the. I put it in the wrong place. All right.
We all do that.
Yeah. Q&A knowledge base ID. There it is. So I'm going to copy in. We said that value is something I can share. So I'm going to copy it from over here, paste it right there, and hopefully that'll work this time. All right. Is the user secrets GUID in my CS proj correct? It is. It turns out, as you saw, I was referring to the wrong key. Does Fritz have C# Monsters University? No.
Although that could be a thing.
It could be, but no.
What would those monsters look like? Go ahead.
They're monstrous. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. So, all right, let me know if this is a crazy idea. For Halloween, instead of doing live coding, we're going to do undead coding. And I'm gonna get my face painted up like a zombie, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to tackle some monstrous bugs. Huh?
I like the theme. I think
Okay.
that'll be awesome.
It's very Halloweenish. All right, let's ask another question in the chat room.
Gotta have something around trick or treats as well.
Yeah, right. What's with the hats? I don't like system web exception. Look at that. And Brave Cobra sent it in first. Why are the subscription keys always shown on stream? I know, right? All right, so client headers. I'm going to open that up, and hopefully it doesn't show everything. It only sent the one. It sent the one authorization endpoint. So the exception that it's... Oh, come on. Show me the exception. Don't be so mean. If I step through that, right, it should... I mean, I expect it to say, well, you didn't give me the content type or something here.
Yeah, something a little more.
404 resource not found. Let me scroll back up. Knowledge base ID should be, right, there's the appropriate one. So it's going to...
Don't we also need that OCP ID? Or the authorization code, is that in the right place too? The auth key, Azure key.
Yeah, so we're saying authorization endpoint key.
Right with that value.
Let me mount. I'm going to do that so that we can see this. You and I can see it. I think that's the right value. Right, so I'm going to bring this over here, bring up the view code so that we can see this. Right?
820. Yeah.
So post into... Oh, you know what? I'm supposed to post into that location. Into Fritzbot Q&A, AzureWebsites.net, QnAMaker.
No longer the WestView API endpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the host was there. Ha-ha! Right? That sounds like the ticket. All right, we're going to go back over here. So now, all right, so here's what we're thinking, right? And tell me we're completely crazy. So instead of this location, we're going to go to that.
Yeah.
/ knowledge bases, all of that jazz. Let's see if that works this time.
Wait.
Okay.
Do you still need the V40?
I don't think so. Looking at the view code there, it didn't have the V4 in there at all. It was post into / knowledge bases at that host location.
Okay, I'll go with that.
The host is still the wrong format, though. Explain. What do you mean, Fwef, that the host is the wrong format? And yes, I do leak keys frequently here. So we'll reset the keys later. Help me out, Fwef. What do you mean the host is in the wrong format? I think that's the right format for this. When I specify a... Right? When I specify a URI. I think we're good.
Yeah. Do we have a slash at the end?
No, because it
concatenates
it in. Yeah.
Okay.
So the host should not include protocol and path. Yeah, we're not doing that down here anymore. All right, so now we're wired up. Is the bot going to give me an answer? Let's find out. Please work. It looks like it's doing something. Hey, watch it there, Brave Cobra. I'm ready with the sad tuba. I'm ready. Okay, so, oh, you know what? That breakpoint is turned off. Turn that back on. What's it doing? Value cannot be null. Ooh, Exception while asking knowledge base. Value cannot be null. Did you see that right
Yeah.
there? Parameter name input. Input. All right, let's find that error. Figure this out. I think we're almost there. I feel like we're almost there.
Close.
No. Right, it would error there. Wait, yeah, where's it erroring out? Because HR wants to help security team work on their ML abuse detection algorithms. Let's see if I can get it to trigger somewhere. All right, so there it is, trying to make the request. Builder.uri. Come on, give me the URI. Right? /QnAMaker / knowledge bases / generate answer. That looks like the right location. So if I F11. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to shift F11 so it jumps through that. Do something. Timeout exception. All right. Let's take the break off of that and just try to get it to give us something. Come on, man. All right, let that go. Okay, unable to answer the question at this time. All right, that's because it hung. Try and ask the question again. See where I can get it to pop. Where is the errors? I know, where are they? Now that time, hang on, we got that. Where is it here? Value cannot be null. In system text regular expressions. That's new. That's like somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right, this. I missed the E. No results found. Are you kidding? Why can't I find this answer? I don't want to replace. I want to do a find across everything. What is that breathing sound? It's not me.
Sorry. Do you hear breathing?
There's a fan. It sounds like.
Oh.
I think it's coming from you.
What, the fan?
Yeah, there's a wind sound all of a sudden. That's weird. Like, why can't I find this going across files here? Like boing? You need C#8 with no null reference types. That would be cool. Oh, man.
You gotta be missing something here.
I know, right? I mean, it's clearly... It's parsing the questions coming in. So that should be there. Then query logger log warning. Azure services did not respond in time. Unable to answer the question at this time. it's this down here that I expect it to hit. If it doesn't, let's put a break in here. Maybe it's
somewhere else.
Yeah. Right, and there's another catch here. All right, ask another question there, chat room. See if we can figure out where this is. Maybe it is getting an answer and we're just not formatting it properly because it's got a new response. If the response is different. Oh, look, we did get a response. What reloads?
And a number of answers. Yeah.
So we got fantastic. Thank you, Brave Cobra, for helping out. So my QnAMaker result isn't the same format that it's trying to deserialize into, is what I'm guessing.
Because of the new version?
I think you're right, Rich. Yeah.
Let's grab that text so we can see what the response string is.
That's a great idea. I can't do that. Oh, no, I can do it here, right? If I say response string. There it is. Ugh. With all the markup. All those codes. Thank you, Demonizer27, for the follow. And okay. Oh, no. So we did get a response object. Yeah, look, the answer string is null, score 0. It doesn't match up. But that's okay. Let's stop. And that's why it bombed, right? It's trying to find something here and it doesn't know what to do. So, okay. There's the response string. Doesn't Visual Studio 2017 have a way to create an object from JSON?
Mm-hmm. Well, using Newtonsoft I do. But
no. Oh, my gosh.
You mean native.
I'm going to show you something that's going to change your life, Rich. Did you copy the response string?
Oh, you're talking about paste as JSON.
Paste JSON as classes.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That blows people's minds when they see that.
So I'm going to paste this over into the chat room so you can grab it. That's weird. Oh, no, that's okay. That's actually not bad. All right. Hey, Code for Veronica, good to see you. Paste is JSON. So here's what I'm going to ask Rich to do is go back over to QnAMaker result, which is what we deserialize as right there. And if I F12 over here, Rich should be able to just deserialize that object right into that JSON right into this, because it's a different structure that's coming back now.
Yeah.
It does do XML as classes also, yeah. But that feature isn't in Visual Studio Code.
Okay, what class? You're in the QnAMaker result class.
Yep. Where we were getting just answer and score coming back, we should be able to now get back a whole bunch of additional information.
I'll have to clean it up a little bit, but that should be fine.
Yeah.
Paste.
Paste JSON as class. And I can't do it because I'm working in Linux. I've got one arm tied behind my back. And then it'll,
so that is under edit. Should be.
It's under edit and then paste special, I believe it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for as well, and I don't see paste special.
Oh no. All right, I'm gonna have to open Visual Studio and find it now.
I've done it. I know it's.
Or is it like edit advanced?
Let's see. Let me try to do the quick launch. Paste.
I'm just opening a project for the sake of opening a project.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
QuickType. What's QuickType? The folks in the chat room are pointing to something called QuickType. I should be able to Edit. Come here, you. I've angered Visual Studio now. Where is it? Edit advanced. Yeah, it should be like right here. Or paste special. There it is. Under paste special should be paste JSON as classes.
Yeah, I go paste, cycle clipboard ring, and then write to duplicate.
Ooh.
I don't know what happened there. Let's see. But do this.
Oh, look at that. Paste JSON as code for VS Code. Huh.
Huh.
Let me see if maybe I can get it to work. Where is it? Extensions. This thing. And this is called, yeah, paste JSON as code. Quick type for JSON. Ooh. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it must be with the share, because if I open up another project outside the share,
It works?
Yeah.
Aha.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's a little more than text, right? It's text and then whatever fires things off in Visual Studio to do that.
Oh, yeah, and it's not the local to you.
That could be part of it as well.
Yeah. All right.
So there's a reason.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. So now if I go down here somewhere, JSON, paste JSON as code, Control-Shift-V. Let's do that. Control-Shift-V. It didn't do anything. Clipboard does not contain valid JSON. Live share updated. You can now collaborate with up to 30 guests. Yeah, I saw that. I did see that. You know what? I bet you it doesn't like the
/r/ends.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me. All right. So let's just paste that in. Ugh. Ugh. I'm going to take these and replace them. Yep. Replace all. So it is valid JSON, and I need to get rid of /quote. I need to replace /quote with just quote. That should be valid JSON now. Top level name. Ooh, okay. Let's call this. Let's just call this new result.
Because you're going to take it, move it up in the other class anyway, right?
Yeah. All right. Namespace quick type, and it brought in a bunch of different stuff there. Fancy. Look at this. So let me get rid of all that goo. So I've got new result that has a collection of answers. An answer has a question that has an answer. Has an answer? Answer?
Well,
all right.
Each question, yeah.
And then the new result from JSON, deserialize object. I don't need this stuff. Because we're doing that from JSON.net, so I don't need that. Okay. So let's look at this a little bit more here. So we have answer. All right, so our original object. Can I put two of these next to each other?
Two windows?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the. Well, that doesn't. Yeah.
Okay. So we originally had a string answer with a score. And the new structure has a collection of answers, and each one has a question with an answer
and a score.
And a score. Okay. And Brave Cobra, it looks like it worked great for us with C# here. So, okay, so let's just poke at this. I think we've. I don't need this public partial class. I don't.
No.
Okay, so if we have QnAMaker answers, that are each one of these things, then the question then yeah, I think we're all right.
Well, so on the left there, where you have the current QnAMaker result, are you expecting that to be an array of objects?
So we're not, right? Because
You
it,
just go ahead. Sorry.
no, you were right. We're just deserializing into a QnAMaker result, which had an
okay.
answer and a key with it. So what if we just take JSON property answers and make this the only property in QnAMaker result, and we make these, let's call this, I'm going to rename this, let's call this QnAMaker answer. Right? And then can we take this like that? So that we have, right, we're returning a collection of, oh, come on, I'm trying to fix my indentation here, fella. There we go. So we have a collection of answers that are part of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that works for what we're trying to do. Tell me I'm wrong.
I guess I'm just questioning why we still have the
other properties?
The current properties, yeah.
Sure, let's kill them.
And the score. Because what we pasted back in was just a collection of answers.
Yeah. So if we go back to the command then, instead of it going after...
Yeah. Brave Cobra and I are in sync. There we go.
Yeah. So response.answer, it's doing it's going after the markdown links in there. I feel like we need to go after each one of the answers then and do this.
Yeah, so we got to put a 4 around the
okay,
for each answer and answer. And then we're only going to want to spit back if you find one that's over 50%.
Yeah.
Right.
In response.answers.
Oh, there you go. Select the first order by the highest score.
Oh, that's a great idea. And then process those.
Yep.
Okay. So
Link is fancy.
So if we did var this answer equals response.answers, I want to do like an order by. Why is it only giving me order? Am I missing the link there? Yeah, I am. So a dot score. Oh, and I want to do order by descending, don't I? So I get the highest
yes,
score.
The highest first. Yep.
Dot first or default. Hey, G Fuel XS1NZ. Welcome. There we go. Yeah, code for Veronica. Yeah, we're on the same page. I think we've got something here. So then instead of that, if we did this answer equals... No, so I want to do this answer dot. It's like the actual text of it. Right?
So Brave Cobra saying subselect, select where the object of the score is greater than 50.
So that we already do this.
Yeah.
Well, let's think about that just for a second.
That would then give you a collection of results. You've still got to say take the first one.
Right. Just give me the first one anyway, and then I'll qualify my message coming back.
Okay, that gets us back to where we were with one object.
Yeah. So if I do first or default, right, this answer should be, stop that. Yeah, it's a QnAMaker answer, right? Which, why isn't it? Wait. That's better. Okay, now I can say, answer. Is that a collection? Please tell me that's not. No, it isn't. Okay. Dot. That's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why? How did we get that class or that property?
Let's look. Go back to that. QnAMaker answer.
It's there.
Yeah. I'm gonna rename that. I think that's better. This answer dot answer, yeah, that's better. So now I can say if this answer dot, is score still there? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Send message async, this answer.
Yep.
Okay, I'm feeling good about this. So response.
Same with this answer.
Yeah. And then we can change this to this answer. All right. I think we got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's run it.
Do the thing. Debug. Gen 2 or... Oh, back off there, ODC. Back off. Build errors. Oh, no. Show the errors. Type or namespace URI could not be found. You know what? We pasted this.
Oh.
No, wait a sec. Why did it say initialize CTOR? No. Generate constructor. No. It's missing a using statement. I'm trying to get it to do the using statement.
Are we formatted right with the class?
Hang on. So we can get rid of this.
Right, because you moved that up. That makes sense.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the sub, desync. I appreciate that. Oh, no. Okay. Now I've done it.
Did it just drop that in there?
Yeah, it did.
Kill it.
Yeah. All right, let's get rid of this. So this is my QnAMaker result class. It has one property, answers. I'm going to get rid of the partial on this. We don't need that. Use Arch Linux. Oh, that's cool. But desync, thanks so much for the subscription. Yeah. You thought you were the only one in chat. Oh, I see what you're doing there, Brave Cobra. So this, right, if I collapse that. Okay, so QnAMaker answer. That should be fine. Why is it? If I control dot on URI. No, I don't want it. It's picking up like the wrong. I want
the wrong type?
Yeah, the wrong suggestion. So that should, yeah, all right, that cleared that up. File not found. What? Don't know why it thinks that. Try this one more time. People that are above 40 years of age that stream is mandatory to use Gen 2. No.
I'm sorry, what's Gen 2?
Gen 2 is a Linux distribution.
Oh, okay. I don't feel bad I didn't know that. Just kidding. We love open, we love Linux.
Absolutely. That's weird. Why does it say file not found with QnAMaker result? I think I need to reload the window here. I think we've entered
between the live share and the Ubuntuing.
Where's reload window? Let me know if that dumped you off.
I was already out.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, I'd have been in there with you. Let's see.
So let's try debug build. Now it's working.
Yeah.
Yeah. GNU, not Linux. No. Sorry. This is Ubuntu Linux. Here we go. Sure looks like it's running. Okay. Ask the question. What would be Ubuntu without GNU? That is a Richard Stallman question that I'm not going to get into. But what the public calls it is something completely different. Azure services did not respond in time. Interesting. this time. Okay. Yeah, I'm hitting the timeout there.
So, which version of the QnAMaker are you running? Like from a plan perspective or a service perspective?
Oh, there you go.
You're in
Now
the-
it ran. Now we
Yeah.
got it.
Okay.
The public is wrong. Doesn't matter. So now it's doing the handle markdown links. Good. Yep, logger, log information. Yeah. Why don't you want to make a difference by advocating the truth? It doesn't matter. The public has spoken. The public has spoken. I'm just a person following along and learning at the same time. So, can we get rid of those? Well, that's coming back in the parsing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, that looks like it's working. It's properly hitting it. Unable to find. Why don't you use mono develop? Because I want to use Visual Studio Code. So there's another timeout. I'll let that fly. There we go. So am I getting any good answers? When does Jeff stream? There we go. Okay, so the bogus question that we added on to the end,
Oh yeah.
just to test, was not. It was. I've got too many browsers. I think it was in this browser. Yeah, there we go. What are you testing right now? What are you testing right now? There we go. That Azure pull and update. Okay, so that was what.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, wait.
What?
That's not the same the question. The answer is the Azure delete and patch.
Yeah, that is the latest one. That's right. That was the one we had when you first put that question in there.
Yeah. Okay, so that's.
So let's take a look at the QnAMaker and see what's in that.
So here's the knowledge base. If I go to the end, or verifying Azure delete and patch works properly. So it is returning what's there, right? I'm going to Control F5 just to make sure I've got the latest and it's not
The cache thing, yeah.
cached funny. The guy says the public has spoken. He is wrong. My attitude is this is the way that the public refers to it. If I go to, if I search for Ubuntu and I go look at it and I go to download and install this, Ubuntu Desktop for Developers, Ubuntu 18.04, Linux kernel, Microsoft Hyper-V, LibreOffice. Right? Yeah. List of Linux distributions. This is what people call it. Limpus Linux, Russian Fedora Linux, Yellow Dog Linux, SUSE Linux, SUSE Studio. The Linux community needs to get their own house in order before they go and tell people who are trying to adopt and use the product that they're using it wrong. Now you're turning people away. Now you're making people not feel welcome. So don't come and attack me, because that's what the public and what the own Linux community refers to it as. Get that in order first before we start advocating for something else.
Yep. Good point.
Okay. So this didn't update properly. So let's go back over to Azure and the functions and figure out, right, even if we just push the button and force it again and see what happens, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you do the publish, right?
Where was it? Yeah. So the reloader over here. And then maybe we come back to dev lead. The question is, does it work? It does work.
It's pulling an answer. It just happens to be the older version of that answer.
Mm-hmm. Let's pull this. All right, so well, we think it did the patch. Let's run this and see what happens. So that sure looks like it hit.
Yeah, I mean, it did do the patch because you had the delete and patch part of your answer changed.
No, we didn't. It still had the old version on the web page.
On the
right, if I go back over here to the web page,
so this is in QnAMaker.
Right. What's on the actual, so I'll go back, GitHub, C# Fritz live stream, and I'll go to the wiki. Delete and patch. Yeah, okay, so it was the right one.
Okay.
Yeah. So it didn't look like it did. Now, publish action function completed. So that looks like it's now updated if I refresh. I got to log back in. And scroll down. Now I've got double in here again. It didn't delete it. Or verifying the Azure delete and patch works. That's correct. That's the correct answer. But it didn't do the delete first. Right? Because I've got both sets here.
Yep. Agreed.
No, I'm not advocating with the mass ones. I'm somebody who's learning, somebody who's trying to join in, and it's not. It's not. I'm simply using what the folks in the mass community are saying. These are the names. This is how they use it. This is the most popular distributions. Exactly, Chris. Space Shot. Folks that are going to tell me that I'm using this wrong, I'm sorry. You're borderline getting banned here. You're not giving me useful info. You're fighting over a political issue that is not something that I'm concerned about, and not something that, as an outsider to the Linux community, I have any influence over. So why didn't this delete? That feels weird, because it sure looks like it should be doing it right there.
Yeah, and the fact that it did do it at one point.
Right. Should we try commenting out the publish and try and run it again and see if we get 6 pages instead of just 4?
Sure.
No, ODC, that's political internal to the Linux community. It's not something that I, as somebody who's outside of the Linux community, as somebody who's trying to learn to use the product, can influence. It's not something that I have sway over. And quite frankly, I'm done discussing this, and please don't continue this, because it's not part of what we're trying to learn as part of this coding session. The politics of that operating system are not my problem. Function completed, it says. Okay, what do we have? Reloading. Okay, now it deleted properly. So, which version of C# am I using? 7? I think we're using like 7.1, 7.2. So, but okay, that looks like it worked. And if I try and refresh again, just to make sure that there isn't something hanging in the background, that sure looks like it did it right. So I wonder if what DevLead was saying, Rich, about maybe we need to wait to do the publish.
Yeah, and the queuing would give us that.
Yeah. Greenie, what do you mean OOF makes mans angry? What do you mean? Most don't care about it, want to use the tool. Yep. What is QnAMaker? Asked Greenie. So I'll back up. Let's back up just a second, and we'll talk about what that is real quick here. Okay.
Do you want me to take that one?
Sure. Go ahead, Rich.
So QnAMaker is one of the cognitive services. There's about there's 30 of them that are out there, and they basically are ways for you to give more intelligence to your applications. Some of them are things that take advantage of understanding images or understanding speech, or in this case, knowledge. And what we're doing here is, and all of those basically, you interact with them via REST calls. So the idea is you make some kind of a REST call, you have some kind of secure key to get to your information or to your bit of charging, so that it goes to your account, and then you get the responses back. QnAMaker is a simple way to set up those FAQ pages that we always have on our websites or as part of other applications, but have them be given as part of a chat bot kind of interface. So you can supply those pages or those questions and answers via inputting them manually, or what we're doing here, which is basically pulling from a URL where the page already exists with that data.
So, and Greenie, it does feel like a bunch of hard-coded if loops, right? We're using machine learning to match up folks' questions to the questions that we've trained it with, and then spit out an appropriate matching response. But what we also get as part of this is the ability to continuously retrain this, and that machine learning will get better at parsing and working with this. Yes, it does use natural language processing. Great explanation, Rich. Yeah.
Thanks. And one of the things, and we haven't done it here, maybe it's something we can do in the future, is in addition to questions and answers, there's also this component in there, basically metadata, where you can put properties around each question. So you can group them and say, these are coding related, these are related to the stream, these are related to the hats, those kind of things. And then as you ask the question, it actually filters that down and gets a better response because it's looking at not the whole Q&A package, but just those that match on properties.
Now you've got me thinking we could make this a little bit smarter. I agree a little with Brave Cobra. It's a little bit painful now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's more we could do to tune this, but I know we've both got something we're supposed to get to at noon, and we're a little bit over.
A little bit late, yeah.
So, Kodo, I'm sorry you feel that way. There's significant change in the wind here. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do just to wrap up. I think we've really got the bot in a significantly better place. So
yep, I agree.
I'm going to commit these changes. Let's do a git status. Yep. Greenie, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. And let's commit this. So fixed bot to start using the 4.0 QnAMaker service. Fantastic. Cool. And I'm going to push that. Awesome. So next time we'll get it running, and we'll have it running here. We'll have the new bot running in the background, and we'll figure out how we can tune and figure out why that publish isn't working for next time. Thanks so much, Rich. I really appreciated your help.
Thanks, Jeff. It's a lot of fun. Always good to jump on the stream here with you guys and everybody else in the Twitch room.
Yeah. Yes, we've been using Ubuntu here, and I've just been popping over to Windows because I've had a browser open and logged into Azure there. So I've just been flip-flopping a little bit back and forth because I'm running this inside of a virtual machine. So, cool. All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody. Of course, this video will be archived and available later on today. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be doing some more work in Ubuntu. We'll try and tune this a little bit further and push through our next little bit. I'm using Hyper-V. I do need a YouTube link out there. But you can go to, it should appear down here, youtube.com/C#Fritz, and it'll get you into the channel. Cool. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you next time. Let's see. Let's play the music. There we go.